powerful American poker pros, shrewd international players, have come to the jungles of Costa Rica to battle for a prize pool worth nearly $250,000.
The World Poker Tour gets wild in Costa Rica!
The World Poker Tour travels the globe, featuring some of the biggest games and largest payouts on the planet. Tonight, we're in San Jose, Costa Rica at Casinos Europa Card Club for another exciting event in this high-stakes journey around the world. You'll see top poker players fighting to win their share of a prize pool approaching $250,000. The buy-in here is $500. But like so many quarters in a video game, some people kept putting in more cash just to play a bit longer. In the end, only 6 players survived to compete at the WPT final table. The last person standing will face off against 11 other title holders for millions in winnings at the World Poker Tour Championship at the end of the year. Now, down to the WPT arena, where poker champion Mike Sexton and Hollywood home game master Vince Van Patten are standing by to call tonight's action.
Hi everyone, welcome to the World Poker Tour. We are in beautiful San Jose, Costa Rica for the final table of Casino Europa's Costa Rica Classic. I'm Mike Sexton along with Vince Van Patten, and we are going to see a tournament today that could be as wild as the countryside.
Well, Mike, you're absolutely right. And just being down here in Costa Rica proves to me that the World Poker Tour truly lives up to its name. I mean, last week we were in the Caribbean. It was fantastic. And this week we're in Central America. I mean, we truly travel the globe, going to the world's biggest tournaments and watching the greatest players in the world, bar none.
Well, the great thing about this is that our fans get to see the different style of play from players around the globe. Today we have 2 Americans at the final table, including poker great Dewey Tomko, 2 native Cubans, a native guy from Costa Rica, and an Ecuadorian. So this is going to be an exciting championship. Let's meet the players.
The person that's leading this whole tournament is Don Luis, and he, believe it or not, owns the casino.
And he now is a major chip leader in this tournament and has a great chance to win this championship event. You're going to really enjoy watching it.
Number 1 seed is my friend Dewey Tomko.
Well, Dewey Tomko is a superstar poker player in America. No player at the table has the experience of Dewey Tomko. I rate Dewey a real good shot to win this event.
Seed number 3 is R.A. Head.
R.A. is a very fun person to watch play poker. He moves his chips. He's not afraid to bet his chips. He's a gambling kind of man.
In seat number 4, there's Jaime Atanelov.
Jaime's been traveling to the States for over 20 years playing the major poker tournaments. He's an experienced player. Also look for him to play pretty well today.
Another crafty player, Jamie Ligator, seat number 5.
And Jamie Ligator, another one. He's come to the States on numerous occasions to play the major championships, so he also has experience. He's not afraid to move his chips in either.
Seat number 6 is Jose Rosenkrantz.
Jose Rosenkrantz is a very solid player, what we call solid. Generally, if he sticks his chips in the pot, he's going to have a hand. Very successful in tournament play. He is also going to be a tough player to beat today. So even though these guys are only starting with 30,000, where Don Luis is starting with 180,000, I give him a shot to win. So you're going to see an opportunity to see some pretty good poker here today. It's going to be a very exciting event.
Usually in the beginning rounds, guys play a little tighter. You know, it's like 2 boxers coming out, just sparring, just watching the other players. They don't play real aggressive.
This is really exciting, Vince, to get to see these players' cards because the viewers are going to get a nice insight on what these players are actually thinking. Here we go. Action's on Jamie Ligator. He folds.
Jose has a 3 and a 10, different suits you can't possibly call.
Dewey Tomko folds and Luis folds. We're down to the battle of the blinds. Now, R.A. Head is from Florida. He's raising on the King 7 offsuit.
R.A. makes it 6,000.
And Jaime is going out.
Nadia calls.
R.A. Head takes down the first pot.
Simple as that.
Wins the first pot.
Well, Vince, not only is poker played all over the world, but the version we're playing today is literally the game of choice everywhere.
Yeah, it's a great game. It is the Cadillac of poker games. That's what they call it. It's a fantastic game. But for those of you who are not quite familiar with this game, we're going to give you a little lesson on how to play No Limit Texas Hold'em right now.
To start, each player is dealt 2 cards face down. Then 5 community cards, cards everyone can play, are placed face up on the table. Each player combines their 2 hidden down cards with the community cards to make their best 5-card poker hand.
And betting is really what this game is all about. Let me explain. You get your first 2 cards, you make a bet. Then the dealer puts the first 3 community cards on the table. In poker, we call this the flop. They bet again. Then the dealer puts the 4th community card on the table. This is called the turn card. Once again, big round of betting. Then the last card. We call this the river. It's turned up on the table. They make a big last round of betting. Turn your cards over. You see who wins.
They call it no limit hold'em because there's no limit on how much a player can bet. At any moment, he can declare that he is all in and push all of his chips into the pot.
Right, and that makes chip position, or how many chips you have, very, very important in this game.
Well, even though Luis has a big lead over all the other players, remember, Vince, it only takes 2 pots where if you beat this same guy 2 hands in a row, you're going to have the chip lead over him.
Well, that's the great thing about we're playing table stakes, and you're absolutely right. You win 2 hands, and you're right back in there with a chip leader.
The action is going to be on Jamie to speak first.
He only has a 6 and a deuce. He's throwing his hand away. Jose also has an equally bad hand. He's chucking his hand.
And Dewey Tomko with an ace-8 also folds his hand. And Luis, surprisingly, on the button, folds a king high. We're back to ready for action. Look at this, Vince.
Okay, well, he's picked up ace-king, big slick, and he's going all in.
No call.
Yes, sir. He's come out with both guns blazing for all his chips.
And he's going to win it right there.
R.A. says his initials stand for ready for action.
Well, you know, he has 9 children, you know, so he was definitely ready for action a long time ago, this guy.
Looks like to me he was in a lot of action if he's got 9 kids.
I'll probably play poker like a rattlesnake. If I get the opportunity, I'll certainly bite you.
Okay, R.A. picks up the pot. He inherits the button this time.
Now, the button, you're going to be hearing a lot about the button in this tournament, is that little white hockey puck that moves around the table each hand. It tells the dealer where to start dealing.
And the 2 players to the left of the dealer button have force bets called blinds. The blinds make sure there is action and money in the pot on every hand.
Well, it's going to be on Jose first. He has a bad hand. He's going to throw it away. Dewey with a king 5 also throws his away.
And here's Luis. He throws his hand away, and here comes R.A. raising another pot.
Okay, he has a pretty good hand. He has a jack and a king. He's going to raise it 5,000 to make it 7.
Uh-oh, he's heading for white water here, though. He's got 7,000. And Jaime goes all in over the top. He's raised him back over the top, Vince, for all his money.
He's got about
Jamie's going to fold.
36,000.
And R.A.'s not going to like this. Look at the look on his face.
Well, Jaime has an ace-queen. It is a stronger hand. He's saying, you know what? I'm going to put a little spice in your coffee.
$26,000.
All right, he's got a problem, Mike.
26 más.
Well, it's not much of a problem, really. Most pros would throw that hand away, but people that like to gamble want to get in there and mix it up. You know, he may say, well, you know, I'll just gamble right here. What's the difference? He's looking back down again. See if that king jack's turned into a pair of kings or something, I guess, Vince. I don't know.
Yeah. He's throwing it away.
The pot goes to Jaime. I tell you, I'm impressed with Jaime's play. I'm not kidding you. He won me over last night when he lost with 2 aces against 2 kings, and the guy didn't flinch, I'm telling you. I tip my hat to the guy.
The majority of players, especially the professional players, look at me like a little fish in the wrong river.
Now, Dewey Tomko will be the first to speak in this hand, and Dewey, as you know, Vince, is a 2-time world champion runner-up.
Yes, he's a runner-up. A lot of people call him the Anna Kournikova of poker because he's never won the big one.
Dewey's played very conservatively so far today. And he throws his hand away. Now here comes Luis. Now he has a nice playable hand, a 9-8 of diamonds, and he calls a 2,000.
Calls 2,000.
And R.A. right behind him with a pair of 4s.
Now that's a pretty solid hand, a pair of 4s, 6-handed.
And he just calls.
He just calls, doesn't raise with it.
And try to flop a set, as we say, looking for a 3rd 4 in the flop. Now here's Jamie Ligator, the small blind. He has a king 7 of clubs. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't put another 1,000 in there with this hand. I don't know if he's going to raise it. Yeah, he does.
You're right.
And look at Jose. Quickly grabs all his chips and moves into the center. He moves over the top of all the limpers.
Usually when you see people limping in, you want to take advantage of that.
In the meantime, take a look at Luis's face. He's got that look on him like, you raised the boss here? I mean, the nerve of you. Look at him.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, look. And he folds his hand. And R.A. folds. Jamie folds. Jose Rosenkrantz makes a very nice re-raise of all the limpers and wins the pot.
So Jose takes that hand down. Very nice move. But you know what? He smiled after the hand, almost apologetic to Luis, the casino owner.
Hey, you got to be careful about raising those bosses. You know. He's got to come back in here and play the bar.
So it's going to be up to Jaime to act first. Action's on him.
He folds. He has nothing. And here comes Jamie. Now, Jamie's picked up ace-9 of spade, and he's raising the pot. He comes in for 6,000.
Well, you got to do it. You got ace-9 of spade. That's a strong hand.
Jose folds, and Dewey folds.
Now Luis.
And Luis says all in.
Yep. Yeah, he's going all in. He has a king-queen of spade. Very strong hand in that position.
Now notice, Vince, he made an all-in declaration. Now look at R.A. here. R.A.'s picked up the king-jack of diamonds.
Now look at R.A. has a problem because he has king-jack of diamonds. That's pretty strong too.
There should be no problem at all. He has no business playing this hand. And look at this, he's playing it.
He's calling. He wants to gamble here.
He has gone all in for his money after a raise and a re-raise on a king-jack. This is a poor play.
Jamie's throwing his ace-9 of spade away now.
As he should.
Okay, they're going to turn it over. You're right. R.A. is going to be a long shot here.
And here they go. We have king-queen of spade against king-jack of diamonds. Luis is in a dominating position, as we say, right now. Well, Vince, R.A. Head has crawled out on a limb early in this tournament. And the big boss here, Luis Milanes, is looking to shove him right out of the tree.
Well, don't go away. We'll be right back with all the action from Costa Rica right here on the World Poker Tour.
You can become the next WPT Poker Made Millionaire, but you have to play to win.
Christopher Columbus discovered and named Costa Rica. When he landed in the New World, Columbus's crew tore leaves from trees and fashioned cards to play a game. Perhaps they should have named it Poker Rica.
Welcome back to the finals of the Costa Rica Classic in San Jose, Costa Rica. I'm Vince Van Patten, alongside my buddy Mike Sexton. And I'll tell you, my pick to win this tournament, R.A. Head, the Floridian 78-year-old player, has gone all in with King-Jack of Diamonds against Luis Milanes, King-Queen of Spades. And it looks very bad right now for R.A.
Well, he says his initials stand for ready for action. But I'm sorry to say that unless he gets very lucky right here, all he's going to be ready to do is leave.
Okay, let's watch.
Only jacks.
No jack.
How about a jack?
No jack.
A jack, man. A jack.
And the flop comes 10-8-4.
Flop is 10-8-4.
R.A. Head is in big trouble right now.
Next card.
The 6 comes off. He's going to have a jack, or he's going to be eliminated.
No, he's not going to do it.
He does not do it. R.A. Head from Miami, Florida. Your pick to win, Vince, is out in the 6th position. He thought Luis was making a move in that spot. He thought the king-jack of diamonds was the best hand. Yep. He made a misread there. He was incorrect in his assessment. He had a king-jack of diamonds. Okay. Luis had the best hand held up. And our chip leader, the rich get richer. Now, Vince, I'm sure our viewers are wondering, is this a little suspicious? Does it look funny that the casino owner is still here at the final 5 and has a massive chip lead? Fact is, this is his passion. He loves to play these tournaments. And yes, it just shows you that an amateur, a guy who loves the game, who's not a professional player, can reach the final table and can do it.
I'm going to give it everything I've got. If I've got to bite someone's ear like Mike Tyson, then I'm going to bite someone's ear.
Now, that is the owner of Casinos Europa, the host of the Costa Rica Classic, threatening to bite the ear off a competitor. And if that's what it takes to win, Mike, good luck.
Well, Luis Milanes is a colorful guy, but he puts on a tremendous tournament.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I mean, the players love to come down here to Costa Rica. Our own Shauna Hyatt looked inside Casinos Europa, and she took her own walk on the wild side of poker.
Poker in the wild. We're in Costa Rica, known for its volcanoes, jungles, and surf, where some of the wildest poker games you'll ever see will happen right before your eyes. Those guys are crazy down there.
Don Luis has a huge chip lead going into the final table.
Last call for revive.
It gets pretty wild down here, poker.
Nestled in San Jose, the capital of Costa Rica, Casinos Europa has some of the wildest poker games in the world. While Costa Rica is known for its natural beauty and diverse wildlife, the poker tournaments at Casinos Europa are known for two things: service and camisas.
Camisa!
Camisa!
Camisa Maximo, por favor! Camisa!
Keyword that I've learned is Maximo Camisa.
I don't want to hear that word. That's meaning you lose your shirt, and I don't want to get that far down.
Camisa!
Camisa means rebuy in Spanish, and the $500 Costa Rica Classic is the only World Poker Tour event that allows rebuys, and there are a lot of them.
Sign my life away. 7.
As the players struggle to stay in the game, the girls from the Toby modeling agencies keep the cervezas coming. With all it offers, Costa Rica has been described as a slice of poker heaven.
The people are very friendly, very sociable, very respectful. Beautiful women. There are 4 women to every man.
And at Casinos Europa, you don't have to wait until the afterlife to enjoy it.
Just like America, Coca-Cola, beautiful women, and poker. This is all you need.
In Costa Rica, pura vida means good life, and this is a good life.
So Luis, the casino owner, is pushing him around.
Well, he's the major chip leader at this stack. He's built his chips up to well over 200,000 now for a commanding lead. Action will be on Jamie. He folds.
Jose has a Jack-9, different suits.
And folds. Dewey folds, and here comes Luis. He's calling with a 10-deuce of diamonds, a very famous poker hand.
Well, that's all he's got. It's a 10-deuce, and he's calling with it. Yes, Doyle Brunson, the great player, had 10-deuce, made it very successful. Here's the flop.
Flop is ace-9-3, and look at Luis. He comes firing out there, 7,000. He's looking to take command of this game.
He's won the pot. You're right. He's just pushing it in. He's saying, hey, listen, guys, you know, I'm taking this game unless you have something good.
Well, there was our man Luis picking up a pot with a 10-deuce of diamonds. He must think he's Doyle Brunson or something.
No, you're right. They call him an amateur player. This guy is pushing these guys around. He's pushing the pros around. This guy is very impressive.
Well, on the other hand, we have Dewey Tomko over there, very conservative. Dewey's biding his time. Maybe he thinks he's an amateur. He's going to make mistakes later. That's when he's going to capitalize on them.
Well, Dewey, I like to call him the Phantom. You know, he keeps throwing away his hand. And once again, he throws away his hand.
Throws it away. Luis throws it away. They all throw it away. The battle of the blinds. Jamie calls another 1,000 with a Jack-9 of clubs. So we're going to see a flop.
Against an 8-3 of Jose's.
Jamie in the small blind calls the 2,000. Jamie and Jose.
So the flop comes queen, 4-deuce, no help to either player. Now there's Jamie's bet 4,000.
Jamie bets 4,000.
And Jose calls it.
Look at this play here. Jose has called 4,000 with a 3 and an 8. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he's not calling to try to make any kind of draw or any kind of hand. He's playing the man. He's playing here to try to take this pot away from this guy on 4th or 5th Street.
Turn card is this.
The 6 comes off. Now, Jamie checked.
He's going to take a steal. Look at this.
He does. He's bet 10,000 at this pot. Whoa.
And he's going to win it.
This is an amazing play by Jose Rosenkrantz right here. He called on the flop with absolutely nothing, Vince.
Yeah, I guess he was just setting him up, just waiting for one play.
He was playing the person, not the hand. An amazing play by Jose Rosenkrantz.
I love the psychological part of poker. It's beautiful when you know what your opponent's thinking.
Well, that was an amazing hand by Jose. Beautiful bluff. You know something, if we weren't on the World Poker Tour, we wouldn't be seeing his cards. We'd probably think he has aces or kings or queens.
That's a beautiful thing. When you can see these cards and see the instincts these players have to make those kind of plays, you can really see what championship poker is all about.
Okay.
There's Luis, king deuce. He folds his hand. And now here comes Jaime. Now Jaime's picked up an ace-jack. Looks like he's raising. Yes, he's come in for 6,000.
Jose folds 6,000.
Wow, notice Jose folded an ace-9 there, Vince.
Yes, he did. Now Dewey, he's going to call because he has a pretty strong hand this time. Ace-10 of hearts.
Here comes Dewey. He's finally in the pot. He's got ace-10. He's up against ace-jack, though. And the flop comes Jack 7-3.
That's a big flop for Jaime. Top pair with an ace kicker. Dewey checks it.
Dewey checks.
Here comes Jaime. He's bet 12,000. And Dewey Tomko lays his hand down.
Jaime bets 10,000.
Now, Vince, notice Dewey had a pretty reasonable hand, ace 10 of hearts. Some players would have moved all their chips in the middle. Now, Dewey Tomko, he likes to play after the flop. In other words, he likes to see flops and then play from there because he thinks he can outplay all his opponents from there. So you won't see him going in for all his chips when he's gambling before the flop.
So the Phantom is not going to gamble today yet.
Now, we're talking about a guy here that used to teach kindergarten, Vince. This guy was a kindergarten teacher for years. He gave up kindergarten to become a professional gambler and has been extremely successful at it.
My biggest advantage with a poker player is probably experience.
Well, you know, you want to play solid, and that's what he does. He's waiting, and these pros have to change gears all the time. And I suspect when he starts getting some hands, he's going to change gears. So it's going to be up to Jamie first to act. Looks at his cards. He's got an ace. He's got an ace-7.
With one of the two short stacks now, he's going to have to make a move here sometime. And it looks like he's making it right now for everything.
He's going all in.
He has moved all in on ace high. Jamie Ligator. Jose folds.
Now look at this. Dewey the Phantom, has a pair of 10s.
He says count it down.
Jamie Ligator just bet
now,
all
Jamie has more chips than Dewey, so if Dewey loses this pot, he'll be out of the tournament. But he's got two 10s. He's on the short stack. I'll be very surprised if Dewey doesn't call this bet.
Well, what are you waiting for? I mean, you got a pair of 10s. Go with it. How many times do they have 10s wired? It's pretty strong.
Well,
look at him concentrating.
He knows Jamie, gives him a lot of respect. He's the first one to come into the pot, but still, you're the short stack here in Dewey's spot. Looks to me like you almost have to play two 10s here.
Like you said before, he likes to look. He's throwing this away. I can't believe this.
He laid this hand down. Now that is pretty amazing to me too.
Luis is throwing his cards away. That's going to do it. Jamie's won the pot with a strong all-in raise.
Dewey Tomko sure made a big lay down there, Vince.